对，再确认一下。过来。
国中比较好。
哦，对，有。Okay. Let's get started. Today we are very glad and fortunate to have a class of magnificent, courageous, and very intellectual students. Give yourself a big hand, okay? So you understand that part, right? Yeah, you all understand, right? But when it comes to test grades, we want you to improve your test grades. And you say, no. We are bad in social classes. No. Now you don't understand. We work hard. We work so hard that we don't want more tests. Okay. All right. That's the chit chat. Let's start. Today we're going to begin with our economics. We are going to try to use this 30 minutes of class of lecture or try to introduce the certain basic concepts of what is economics. And of course, mainly to give you a different experience of how classes is conducted or how we lecture in English. It is just a way of them to get used to it, to get used to something that you are not familiar. But actually, I think most of you are capable of attending this class, okay? My speaking speed is not that fast. I will try to use easier, understandable vocabularies as possible. So if you really have questions, just feel free to raise your hands, okay? Okay, let's start. Introduction and comparison. The starting part, okay. We start with economics. What is economics anyway? What is economics? To get richer, to make people more employed, to build a Ferris wheel with love. Yeah, you know that. All right. What is economics? In the theoretical definition, we say economics is like facing the infinite desire and limited resource. You've learned this. We have only limited resource, but we have infinite desires. We want everything. I want a new notebook. I want a new computer, etc., etc. I want a new pair of shoes. You want to be the president? You have to be 40 years old. Okay, good for you. Okay. Anyone is like that. So what is this sentence in your classbook? What in Chinese we say this? What is this? Infinite desires and limited resource. 8 words in Chinese. Yeah, good. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so we have limited resource, but we have infinite desires. This is dilemma. But dilemma means I want both things, but they can't happen at the same time. You have to trade off. What is trade off? When you make decision, you let go of something. You lose something. You win some, you lose. You have 3 boyfriends, 3 girlfriends, candidates. And if you pick the boyfriend A, you let go of boyfriend B and C. You say, that is not true. Theoretically and safely speaking, yeah, okay? If you only have 1 boyfriend, then you let go of the other 2 boyfriends. If you have 1 girlfriend, you let go of other 2. If you have 2 girlfriends, you raise the problem of increasing your opportunity risk, not cost, risk, okay?
I'll take them.
That's what?
I'll take them.
Oh, okay. All right, so we want economics to help you as a social science subject. It helps you find the most efficient way, okay? The most best way to make decision. This is the purpose and the most important application of this subject, to help you make decisions. So many officials in America or in these highly developed countries, they often have a diploma or a profession that they know economics, they know finance. So when you know when you learn economics, you have a deeper view or deeper analysis of the whole society. You can explain simple things or in a very professional way that makes you an expert. Okay, that is definitely something important. Now, the second thing we often link to economics is the cost, or should we say the opportunity cost. Opportunity cost, you know that in Chinese. And what is opportunity cost? It is, of course, this is the simple definition, which means the highest value or the most preferable opinion gives up when you make a decision. So this is the same as when we talk about daiimas, when we talk about trade-off. It means every decision, under every decision, you let go of something. You let go, and we find the things that you like most, the most preferable, or the highest value. That is your opportunity cost. You have already made a test of it, so I won't be getting too far into this. Okay, so this is economics. This is the basic thinking and definition of economics. Okay, go back one page. All right, so further speaking, this is what you will encounter when you enter college. We will clearly define economics into two disciplines. In two disciplines, one of them is the microeconomics. What do you say microeconomics? What is micro? You know microwave, right? That is that word, microeconomics, okay? But we use the word personal in Chinese, okay? Instead of we use 微积, no, we don't say that, okay? So what is that microeconomics? It means that you try to analyze society, you try to analyze personal decisions, and you try to do it under an individual focus. What is individual? A person or a business, okay? Or maybe a group of persons, a group of business. Okay, that is also a unit for the microanalysis. Okay, so this is the focus. And what is its main context setting? The context means the environment. It means that under microeconomics, we tend to view a society like a closed lab, like a closed laboratory. You know, when you do science, when you do the experiments, you try to do the experiment under a closed environment. The closed environment may be within a box or within your imagination. Okay? You simplify society. We say other things remain the same. Okay? So that divides the most important elements into price and what? Quantity. Yeah, you have price and quantity. And other things, such as personal preference, or such as your personal income, and etc. So we try to understand microeconomics because we can understand this only by simplifying your society. Society is very complex. Many things come into play and influence the outcome. But we try to simplify it. This is what we do in natural science. This is what we do. We assume that other things can remain the same. But actually, this is a problem, but we won't get into too far details. Okay. Now, the third thing about microeconomics, why you want to learn microeconomics? You try to limit things into a very simple fashion. You try to observe individual decisions, and you want to study whether the pricing or the welfare or international trades. Okay? You could use these tools to help you understand how we price things. For instance, you just learned what is the outcome when you set a price. You set a price higher than the market equilibrium price. What happens? The price gets too high, and what happens? Is there a surplus, or should it be overproduction? Overproduction. Yeah, you know it. When you set the price too high, consumers can't buy so much. So producers have their stocks and their products left on the shelves. No one is touching them. No one is buying them. Okay. All right. So there's a surplus, or we say overproduction when you price it too high. But when we price it too low, then everyone wants to buy it. Then it becomes a shortage. Yes, you all know that. Okay. So this is this. So you can now imagine what we have just learned from your book 5 textbook. Most of them has something to do with microeconomics. We are using a micro vision to see the whole society. We try to understand the individual part. Okay, so this is microeconomics. So important tools, demand and supply. We've learned them. Okay. Now, what about the macro part? The macroeconomics, it tries to analyze the whole economy under a country or a society. Now that day when the Philippine singers were here, they say, we love Taiwan as a country. Now the country doesn't mean that this doesn't mean that they promote independence of Taiwan. No, country is a geographical word for 国家. There are actually three words that can describe 国家. There are country, state, and also what? And nation. And the only thing that has to do with your 主权, sovereign, is state. So he is using a safe word. Taiwan is a country, but Taiwan, I'm sorry, it is not. We are not admitted as a sovereign state. Are you watching this? Okay. Okay. Yeah, we are not a sovereign state. Well, at least now we are. All right. So when you go into macroeconomics, you try to analyze the whole economy. So you focus on different things. You don't focus on pricing. You don't focus on welfare. What is welfare? Welfare means I get something good. I get a benefit. This welfare is not social welfare. It is the measurement of how much good things you get. It is not definitely the same. Like for instance, I got this book from the store, and this book gives me a benefit. But how do you describe the benefit? Economics try to use letters, try to use numbers. Like say, I get 100 points of benefit by getting this book. For the same book, if I give it to her, maybe this only worth 10 points of benefit. So this is what we call benefit. We use benefit to measure what is the best for the whole society. This is an individual way. It means society is add up according to personal benefits and costs. You sum up the personal, then you get the society. But under macroeconomics, we don't do that. Under macroeconomics, we try to analyze societies as sectors. What is sector? There are only 3 sectors in a country. The public sector, what is it? Public. What is most important in public sector? Public sector. Who's the main decision maker of all the country's policy? Yeah, the president, and you represent the government. Yeah. The government agencies, the government organizations, they are the most influential of public sector. And then you got the second sector, which is the private sector. Now, private sector is divided into 2. One is profiting. So it is what? What is a profiting sector? What organizations want money and nothing else but money and growth? What? Yeah, business, right? And what we say about firms, businesses, they want money, they want profit. So these are the profit sector. And also you have learned in civic class, we taught about non-profit organizations. NPO. What is that? What is that? What is NPO? Non-profit. It means the main purpose is not to get profit. He may have gotten some of it, but the purpose is not to get profit. What? Like 慈济. 慈济. What is 慈济? Profit. Non-profit means its importance is to get public benefit. Public benefit is its main concern. It does not want to profit itself. It wants to do good things for the society. We call it, or 非盈利. You've heard of that, right? Yeah. Non-profit, so that's the word, NPO. So these sectors all change. And these sectors are basic people, basic actors in macro. You don't analyze personal or small business groups under macro. Okay? So you have different settings that the world is constructed in different ways. You see things through a different perspective. So you try to describe society under different fashion. Okay? So what is its application? Like, so in macroeconomics, we concern about GDP. The government says it wants to work hard for the people. It wants to increase the employment rate, so you all get jobs and you all get good payments and you all get good lives. And eventually, the most important is vote for me, so I can read. Okay, this is the main purpose of government. But anyway, things like GDP, things like employment rate or unemployment rate, these are all important issues or applications that we taught in macroeconomics. Okay, so the setting is different. And under macroeconomics, we try to understand the world in an aggregate way. This means the whole society way, the whole demand and the whole supply. So this is different than when we define personal demand and personal supply. Okay? We go. Okay. If no other questions, we go on to the final topic of this lesson. Yes. Is that a John or is it this question? Okay. All right. Now we go into the main topic of this class. We want to discuss what is production possibilities frontier. What is a production possibility frontier? In Chinese we say it's 生产可能曲线. Okay, what is PPF? In PPF you have to know one thing first. You all know what is opportunity cost. So let's assume there is a country, and this country only produces apple and banana. And this is the production. This is the table that shows you all the possible production sets. Like this is a set. It means when I get 15 apples, I don't get any bananas. Okay. When I get 14, when I want one more banana, you lose one apple. This is what we call trade-off. You lose something when you get something. You get one more banana, you lose an apple. Now let's try to read it. You get 2 bananas and then you lose how many apples? 2 apples. So you try to understand this and you figure out that when you get the 3rd banana, you want a 3rd banana, you lose how many apples? 3 apples. You get a 4th banana and you lose 4. And the 5th banana will cost you 5 apples. Now this is something weird, something we haven't discussed before. There is always opportunity cost, but are the opportunity costs all the same for an additional banana? Are they all the same? No, because you just read, I gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and don't think that, don't sing that. We'll sing next week. Okay, so if we draw this under a chart, it should be like this. You have 15 apples, you get no banana. 1 banana, you lose 1, lose 2, lose 3, lose 4, lose 5. Those 5 sets of production, what are the main character of this? It is the meaning of, it has the basic assumption. When I produce these things, these sets, I use up all the resource. Okay? It means that I don't have anything left to produce any more apple or banana under these 5 sets. So when you draw this up on a picture, you get, and you link these points up, you get the production possibility frontier. Okay? So is this understandable? Okay. So let's try to let's try to analyze this. When you see a production possibility frontier, now according to your knowledge now, you know that they are what? They are the basic production sets, and those production sets have an assumption that these production sets are all resource used up sets. That means you cannot possibly produce something inside or outside the frontier. Which one? You cannot produce a set of production outside or inside. Yeah, you cannot produce a set outside because this is a full usage. Okay, so you could not extend it more. This is why we call it a frontier. This is the max possible combination. But what about points and combinations inside? Is it possible? Yeah, but what are the difference? If you have a production of 1 and 5 apples and 1 banana, is it possible? Yeah. So what are the difference? Do you have, if under this set, do you still have resources left? Yes, very good. And give yourself a big hand. Yeah. This is, you understand what we're talking about. This is what a production possibility frontier is trying to show you. When you saw a production possibility frontier, you know that this is all the combinations using all the resources. This is all the combinations that does not use up all the resources. And these are impossible combinations under certain under the current circumstance or current resource level. Okay, so we go on to the next page. Okay, so first you know that the amount of apples. Now we try to see it. The amount of apples decreased. Each more banana you produce, the apples decrease. And these increased apple represents the opportunity cost of each banana. Okay, this is the first analyzation. Then the second part is like, okay, this shows you the apples you give up. So let me ask you, what are the apples given up? What are the fashion? Are the apples given up the same, or is it increasing or decreasing? Which one? Increasing. Yeah, so we have discovered this trend. You give up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 apples under each new production of bananas. So what does this mean? Let's see. It tells you a marginal trend of change. What is marginal? Marginal means one more, another more, or another set. It does not necessarily have to be one, but it should be a set, an individual. So in this, we could say a marginal increase of banana. Every marginal decrease of banana, you get a marginal cost that is what? Increasing. Yeah. So this is a chart that can also display and prove that marginal cost is usually, not always, but usually it is increasing. Okay? So this is what production possibility frontier tells you. But let me ask you, if a production possibility frontier is a straight line, then what happens to marginal cost? The marginal cost becomes first increasing, second decreasing, or third remains same. Yeah, remains same. Okay. If you could understand this and all you're replying in a correct fashion, then we are success. We are success in displaying this in English. Okay. Right. The next one. So the next one is the analytical point. We try to under a chart of possibility, production possibility frontier, we divide this x-axis and y-axis, this chart, into 3 parts. So as we have spoken that every point on the production possibility frontier is a complete usage production combination. Okay, complete usage of all your resources. And all the points within this frontier are possible, but resource unused. Partly resource are unused. That means that you might be able to produce more apples or more bananas because you still have things, you have resources left unattained. And outside of the frontier, if everything still remains the same, if the whole resource is the same, you could not possibly exceed or extend this frontier. This frontier is the max. Every combination. Okay, so it is not possible to have production outside unless you have more resources. Then that is a different condition. Okay? Okay, so this pretty much finishes our today's topic. And again, thank you all for participating. Okay. 所以可以补充到对，那个